Have you ever thought about bringing back somebody from the dead? Well, all you gotta do is call Dr. Herbert West, and he'll get you the fluid that you need to do that real fast. Let's get into it.
15 cc's of reagent being administered.
Once you wake up the dead, you've got a real mess on your hands.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't noticed, yes, the name changed again. Now I am Faccmonster Cinema. I figured trying to search for Faccmonster on YouTube, it brings up the wrong thing. It brings up Faccmonster, so I figured I should probably put my last name in front of it instead. And hopefully people will be able to find my channel better and help me grow and do the things that I want to do. So, for today's review, this movie was brought to my attention by a good buddy of mine, fellow stream demon, my brother from another mother, Mr. Chris Snyder. I'm talking about H.P. Lovecraft's Re-Animator from 1985. He thought that I'd really dig this movie, so I said, I haven't seen it, why not? Let's give it a shot. First time watch, so this is going to be my review and my thoughts on that film. It was directed by Stuart Gordon. It stars Jeffrey Combs and Bruce Abbott. It's kind of a take on a zombie film, but done in a totally different way. Kind of done, the meaning behind the zombies is actually kind of a, he does it for good. He wants people pass away, he wants to find out a formula to bring them back to life instantly so that they can conquer death, is pretty much the idea behind Jeffrey Combs' character, Dr. Herbert West. He's the main guy in this film. He's trying to create this re-animator formula, to perfect it, to bring back fresh corpses so that they will come right back to life after death. Sounds like a good idea, but you should know by now in these movies that's not going to be a good thing. Dan Kane, he's played by Bruce Abbott. He is a graduate student who Herbert West kind of, I guess, takes him under his wing, if you want to call it that. Dan's girlfriend Megan, she's not really a fan of Herbert West. She kind of finds him strange and suspicious, which I would too. He moved into an apartment that Dan let him move into, and he's working on his re-animator fluid and shit in there. They hear all kinds of weird noises and all kinds of shit. So Dan goes in. They were missing their cat, and it so happens to be in Dr. West's apartment. So he killed it, and he is trying to reanimate it and bring it back to life. Dan gets first-hand experience. It happens right in front of him. They shoot him up with the fluid. The green fluid looks incredible. You know, whenever you have a black light and you turn it on and the greens and the neons pop, well, that's what it looks like in the syringe. It looks incredible. I mean, might stand out a little bit too much, but I think they're just directing you towards that re-animator fluid because that is the gist of this movie. That's what this movie's about. So I think that's kind of why they're highlighting it so much in this film. But as the movie goes along, he's working on perfecting the re-animator fluid. The cat comes back to life twice, actually, but it's more vicious. It's kind of like a Pet Cemetery thing. When they bury the cat and Church comes back, the cat's evil. That's kind of what happens to this cat. This cat turns into a vicious, trying to kill, you know. But they kill the cat and then they reanimate it again to show Dan that it can happen again. Dr. Hill, he's a doctor at the hospital as well. He's not a huge fan of Herbert West. They kind of have a battle going on back and forth of whose like theories about stuff is correct and who's not. Another character in this film is Dean Halsey. That's Megan's father. Dan should not be dating Megan. It's like against like the policies and whatnot. But in these movies go, you know how they go. They're going to date anyway, and they're going to fool around, and they're supposed to be studying, but I think Dan's studying the inside of Megan, not, you know, the books and whatnot. Dean doesn't like that. He's going to kick Dan out of school. He's there on like a scholarship, I think, and they want to kick him out of school. Whole thing goes down. So Dean, he discovers what's going on. One of the corpse that Dr. West reanimated, very vicious, kills Dean Halsey. So what do they do to cover that shit up? They try to reanimate him and bring him back to life. And he comes back to life evil and zombified as well. Every time they try to bring somebody back, it backfires. It doesn't go the way that Dr. West wants it to go. He doesn't know how much re-animator fluid to give these people to bring them back to life. He's just guessing and taking his notes and diagnosing it as it goes. But every time somebody comes back, they're not the person they were before they left. They're evil, they're vicious, they're violent. They're zombies. They don't have any cognitive thought. They're just there to destroy. But Dr. Hill, along the way, he gets his head ripped off, and then he's reanimated. But his head controls his real body. So he like carries his head around like this, and obviously he hated Dr. West, so they're battling against each other to, you know, to take control of this reanimator fluid and to be the leader. So Dr. Hill reanimates every corpse in the morgue. They're all laying down, it's like a surprise, and then Dr. West is there and Dan, and they all sit up and shit, and it's like a little corpse army, and they're trying to stop Dr. West. But Megan somehow gets through to her father, Dean. She yells, just keeps yelling and talking to him, and finally something clicks. And he reacts, and he holds off the other zombies so Dan and Megan can escape. However, Dr. West, during this whole situation in the third act, one of the corpses freaking like blows up, and then this freaking like long ass like tongue thing comes out, wraps him up. It's strange, kind of got like a tremor vibe thing. I don't know what that thing was, but it was pretty cool to watch. Up until the first act of this movie, I was like, it's kind of slow. Not really enjoying this. The second act built up a little bit more. The third act of this film, mwah, fantastico! The third act was amazing. So definitely, if you're going to watch this for the first time, stick around to the beginning. You'll definitely enjoy the end of this film. It's wacky and crazy, and it's very damn entertaining, that's for sure. So Chris Snyder, thanks for pointing this movie out to me, my man, because I really had a good time with it. But as this movie goes, Dan and Megan are escaping. Unfortunately, one of the corpses attacks Megan and does kill her, unfortunately. I did like her. She was a very likable character. She's taken out. Dan is obviously very upset. He carries her up to the emergency room. They try to resuscitate her, try to give her the paddles. It does not work. And if you can tell by the way this movie went, you know what's coming next. Final shot of the movie, Dan injecting Megan with the re-animator fluid, and the screen fades, and it just fades down. The only thing you can see is that green re-animator fluid slowly going away in the syringe. I thought that was pretty badass. Just to highlight that's the last shot of the movie, the re-animator fluid just emptying out of that syringe into Megan. Badass movie, crazy movie, wacky, bonkers. Never seen a trailer for this movie, had no idea what it was going to be about, going in blind. And I'm so glad that I did. All these movies I've been watching going in blind and doing a review, the movies have been a hell of a lot more fun. They're way more enjoyable not knowing anything about it and just going in. I thought it was wacky crazy, dude. It was definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. I know most people have seen it. Most people really enjoy this film. Some people say this film hasn't held up well over time. I think I'd definitely probably pop this in maybe once in a while and give it a watch. It's definitely worth it. It's enjoyable. The characters are kooky. The corpses are zombies, but a different version of zombies. So it's definitely very horror-centric. Little tones of comedy, but definitely a damn good time. So if you're looking for a first-time watch, something crazy with zombies, definitely check out Re-Animator 1985. So that's my thoughts on Re-Animator. I hope you enjoyed the review. Hope you enjoyed what I had to say. Definitely hit that like, hit that subscribe, and stay tuned for Filthy with Facci episode 2 coming up here shortly. The first episode was a huge success. Me and Dan had a great time. Wanted to thank everybody who came out to watch and hang out with us. Gonna keep on doing that, and definitely gonna keep doing all this. I would say mediocre, but this shit is fire. So come back and check out some more fire content from the Faccmonster himself, and you reanimate yourself and have a scary day.